Hi, my name is Michael Santos, and I really appreciate you for being a part of our community. We are deeply committed to trying to help as many people as we can who are going into the system really understand what steps they can take to prepare for a life of meaning and relevance and dignity. I was in prison for 45, well, I shouldn't say, I had a 45-year sentence and I served 26 years, but every day I followed this methodical path that leaders taught me, and I felt a sense of duty and obligation to show other people how they can do it. And I never asked anybody to do anything that I didn't do. That's the reason I publish every day on our new site, prisonprofessorstalent.com, because that platform is really a tool that we use to communicate a pathway to success to hundreds of thousands of people who are in jails and prisons across America. So if I share my screen with you, you'll notice that the site itself is profiling a lot of inspiring people. It's giving the background and the story of what we do and why we do what we do. We're really committed to trying to help change and improve the culture of confinement. We are deeply committed to teaching people how to plan. In fact, if you click these buttons right here, you will learn more about the background of the site. If I click that one right there, you'll see when we're going into prisons, what steps we are taking to try and teach people how they can build hope and a strategy. And it doesn't happen by accident, but rather everybody has to have a plan. And that release plan should start long before somebody surrenders to prison. So in this program, I'm showing you this is how I did it. This is the strategy that worked for me to build a pathway that even though I'm a justice impacted person, I work with administrators and Department of Justice and probation and federal judges and the Bureau of Prisons and state prisons across the country, because we're authentic. We're demonstrating there is a pathway, and it doesn't happen by accident, and it doesn't happen overnight. In fact, if you click on the wiki page here, you can look back and see all of these links that kind of show how did that pathway begin very, very early in the journey. The earlier somebody starts, the more effective that person can be in building a story. If you look at this, for example, at this story back here, this is from Stanford Law School, the graduating class in 2015 and June 15th, 2013. So it's just over 10 years ago when the dean of Stanford Law School is referring to our work. You can go here to page 4 of this document, and you will see that closer to home, a few months ago, some of our students met Michael Santos. Michael is one of our leading commentators on sentencing and correctional policy in the United States. He has written great scholarly articles on criminal justice and will play a major role in criminal law reform in the coming years. But Michael invented himself by an act of arduous, muscular imagination when at the age of 23, he was sitting inside of a federal prison for drug crimes. So you can see, I learned while in prison how to convert potential adversaries into my advocate. And that's what I'm striving to show people in here. It all starts with a plan. That's the lessons I learned from leadership, from people like Frederick Douglass or Nelson Mandela or Viktor Frankl or Socrates and so many other people. So how do I reach and communicate that message to people in prison? And more importantly, how does it affect you? Well, go to what you could do, or anybody could do on this program, is build a profile. And I kind of give a tutelage of how they do it. And part of that profile includes book reports, includes journal entries, includes a release plan. But something I'm very passionate about is documenting the story. So when I decided to launch this path, I said, okay, I'm going to write a journal entry every day, because that's what I did while I was in prison. It's what I kind of do out here in society as I work to build my life. But since I pipe it into prisons, I also like to read these journals so that people can follow along. Sadly, many of the people in prison didn't have access to great educational programs, and as a result, they did not always go to school. So sometimes they're challenged to read. So I always like to read along with these lessons. So this is from Sunday, July the 2nd, 2023. This morning, I began working at 4:30 a.m., eager to resume progress on the new platform we're building. In my view, this tool can lead to a massive change. It is part of a long-term plan for my Ministry of Reform. I want to see changes in the law that will incentivize prison systems with opportunities to incentivize excellence. I can paraphrase the wise person who wrote that if a person loves being productive, he never works a day. I feel I am being productive, living a purposeful and intentional life. My writings always profile the decisions that led me into the prison system. They also show that regardless of bad decisions a person has made in the past, they can always work towards sowing seeds for a better outcome. We must live transparently, openly, and never ask anyone to do anything we do not stand behind. I learned these lessons from leaders who inspired me while serving my sentence. Many people in prison, unfortunately, live without hope. And while prison terms separate them from the people they love, malcontents influence them and fill them with negativity. I hope to show those people a better way. So succeeding after a crisis. To overcome a crisis, a person needs a plan. And one plan isn't the same for everyone. To start, a person should define success. Then the person should set clear and smart goals. Then a person must adhere to the plan using the principles I wrote about in our course, Preparing for Success After Prison. They're easy to follow. Step 1, define success. Step 2, set clear goals. Step 3, show the right attitude with 100% commitment to success. Step 4, aspire to something more than current circumstances. Step 5, act in ways that harmonize with the plan. Step 6, create accountability tools to measure incremental progress. Step 7, stay aware of opportunities to grow and make others aware of the commitment to excellence. Step 8, live authentically, developing tools, tactics, and resources that advance the plan. Step 9, celebrate achievements, no matter how small. And Step 10, live in gratitude, appreciative of all the blessings in life. In building our new platform, Prison Professors Talent, I am hoping to profile thousands of people who work to prepare for success upon release. This website will become a tool that I use to advance advocacy efforts, while opposing forces like Governor DeSantis, who argues that Congress should repeal the First Step Act. I'm striving to show how laws that incentivize excellence lead to better outcomes for society and for justice-impacted people. We are striving to show the value of authorizing federal work release programs, expanding the use of furloughs, providing meaningful access to compassionate release and commutations, and reinstating the U.S. Parole Commission or indeterminate sentencing systems. If a person is not a threat to society, and if a person has a job and a place to live, we would benefit from reforms that would allow prison systems to let people serving their sentences on home confinement. To succeed in advancing these arguments, I need to build more influential coalitions. The new platform will become a tool I use to advocate, and I am convinced it will help. Today is Sunday, July 2nd, and I look forward to working all day on this project, a prison ministry for me. So by writing this daily journal, what I'm doing is I'm really helping people inside understand if you want to overcome the challenges that accompany a criminal charge, you've got to start sowing seeds very early. I started sowing seeds at the very start of my journey, and because of that, opportunities opened throughout. And if I was lucky, if an opportunity opened one time in one prison, you could say I was lucky. But remember, I started inside high security federal prisons when I was very young, and I was locked inside of those high security penitentiaries for 6-7 years. I don't even really remember, but I think it was from 87 until 1990. Well, until I graduated, I got my undergraduate degree in the pen, so it was 87, 88, 90, 91, 92, 93. Then I started grad school in the pen. So I think it was 7 years I spent in the pen, and then I went to a medium. But the entire process, there were opportunities open, as is evidenced by getting an undergraduate degree, getting a master's degree, and then moving on from a medium to a low, where I created new opportunities, including bringing mentors into my life, even finding the love of my life and getting married inside of a federal prison, building businesses that would allow me to emerge strong with my dignity intact and with opportunities to live as a contributing citizen. That's what we want for every person who's a member of our community, and that means you. So my name is Michael Santos. I'm the founder of Prison Professors, and I believe in you. Thanks.